Welcome to my Days of Our Lives official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. According to spoilers on Days of Our Lives, Belle Black Brady will return to Salem later this year. It's fortunate that Belle and Sean Brady will be present to give Bill Hayes the proper farewell. Fans of DOL may anticipate seeing Belle and Sean Brady on screen again in time for Doug Williams' memorial ceremony this December. It appears, nevertheless, that Belle might be here longer than Sean. Things might not have gone as planned for Sean and Belle, despite their hopes that after Sean's stint in recovery, their marriage would be repaired. In such scenario, Belle might be free to go on and find someone else. Is there a potential that Belle and EJ DiMera may reconcile and have a true love? The last time Belle and EJ dated, it was only a fling, but perhaps the next time around they could become a serious days couple. Now that he's back on the single scene, EJ will probably spend some time moping over his past anger. Now that his life with Nicole Walker is over, EJ will need to find a way to move over the loss of believing he might live happily ever after. Is Belle going to be the one to eventually put EJ's torn heart back together? If Belle needs time to move on from her failed marriage to Sean, perhaps EJ might even do the same for her. Days could want to take advantage of the spark that existed between EJ and Belle once more. The notion of Belle's romance with EJ has always been particularly soap operatic because she is Sami Brady's sister. EJ and Sami used to think they were the love of their lives, but they were never able to settle down and EJ never could. But Belle is a good choice since eventually EJ needs someone with whom he can move on. Maybe Belle could finally offer EJ some stability and bring out the best in him. Our day's forecasts suggest that EJ will take some crazy turns in the upcoming months, but can he ever calm down enough to start a new chapter with Belle? Keep checking back for updates on any significant romantic news, as spoilers for Days of Our Lives suggest that big changes to Salem's love life are imminent. According to previews for Days of Our Lives, Fiona Cook just made a significant revelation and requested Sarah Horton's assistance in speaking with Xander Cook. During the July 26th episode of Days, Fiona revealed the true reason behind her prolonged distance from Xander. Fiona claims she experienced a nervous breakdown and was admitted to a mental health facility as a result. After being imprisoned for a few years, Fiona found it difficult to locate Xander because he had moved on. Victor Kiriakis was in Xander's life by the time Fiona eventually located him. Fiona made the decision to just let go and let Victor watch over Xander. Nevertheless, she refrained from acknowledging her fatherhood out of respect for Xander's feelings for Titus Kiriakis, the man he had previously thought to be his father. After Sarah provided him updates, Xander was understandably dubious about the story, but Sarah also noted that Fiona appeared genuine. The truth about Fiona's level of honesty and whether or not she was hiding something more significant that led her to leave Xander for so long are still up for debate. But let's assume for a second that Fiona is telling the truth and that, in fact, she suffered from a nervous breakdown that necessitated several years of commitment. If so, Days might be laying the groundwork for Fiona's eventual fate now that she's made her comeback. DOL might be preparing for Fiona to spend more time in a mental health facility in the future. Will anything occur that pushes Fiona over the edge once more? Is Fiona headed for another Bayview crisis? As an alcoholic, Fiona shouldn't be drinking, yet she's already taking alcohol again. If Fiona isn't careful, that could be the first instance of history repeating itself. Days might easily put Fiona in danger and set up an incident that brings up a sad memory from her past. It's possible that Fiona will experience another nervous breakdown and end up committing to Bayview. We'll provide you with additional predictions about all the chaos that lies ahead since Days of Our Lives spoilers indicate that Fiona's storyline will include some stunning news and exciting action. On this episode of Days of Our Lives, Leo makes contact with a former acquaintance, Stefan surprises Gabby, and Connie strikes once more. Ava is discussing Gabby's chic ideas with Gabby as the brand's namesake calls her out for being nervous on today's episode of Days of Our Lives. Ava asks about Rafe and fabricates a reason. Nothing has changed. At that moment, Stefan contacts Gabby and tells her he needs to meet with her at the restaurant immediately. Ava swears to herself as a startled Gabby flees. Oh my god. Why am I now feeling less well? Bobby tells Jada at the police station that he is not a killer, even if he acknowledges his identity after receiving a few threats. However, I didn't stab Lee. I also didn't stab Rafe. But before he can say anything, he begins to feel queasy and says he feels sick. Although Jada doesn't buy it, he claims he has to go and stumbles out of the room. Jada receives a phone message from Stephanie alerting her to Leo's suspicion that Everett is still Bobby. Soon after her arrival, Jada tells her pal what Bobby has admitted to being, well, Bobby. He continues to maintain that he is not a killer, but he is aware of who is. After taking in everything, Stephanie says she's going to Everett's immediately. Although Jada's hands are legally bound, hers aren't. Jada runs after her as she storms out. When Leo knocks to Everett's hotel room in search of his employer, Connie is happily framing him. Just as Leo leaves, Connie freezes and knocks something over, but he takes the hint and moves on. She places his medicines next to the bedside, leaves a note on his laptop, and plants some gloves. She drops a keycard as she slips away. Soon after, Bobby shows there, relieved to find his room card on the ground and barely able to stand. Oh God. What is wrong with me? Sighing and writhing, he finds his way to his bed in his room and notices the pill bottle beside it. He picks up where he left off reading it. Is it really that important? He realizes that Connie drugged him as he recalls her giving him coffee. He tries to call for assistance but is unable to use the phone. Jack gets to the Spectator to see Chad congratulating him on returning his half of the paper. However, his purpose for being there is to discuss Abigail, not to work. The video cleanup is taking a long time and might come to an end. Chad claims that if it is, they have nothing. Chad offers to return his portion of the paper to Jack before he leaves. But he won't accept it. Abigail was intended to have it. And everything should go to Thomas and Charlotte eventually, whether or not she is still living. Leo then makes an appearance to wax lyrical about all the lady whistleblower anecdotes he has. He mentions to Chad that Everett doesn't seem like himself and that he was really disappointed when he went to see the chief editor. Everett only needs room to work on his mental health, Chad advises him. Leo, though, questions whether Everett was given an early release. Dazed Chad and Jack converse at the Spectator offices across from one another, appearing worried. Sarah remarked, well, she didn't exactly desert you. Xander inquired, what do you mean? Sarah revealed to Xander that following a mental breakdown, Fiona had been admitted to a mental health facility. Xander was surprised. Sarah clarified that Fiona had made an effort to sober up, but upon her release, she had been unable to locate Xander. Xander asked, she looked for me? Sarah gave a yes nod. And eventually, she learned that Victor had put you to work, so she backed off. She thought that Victor would look out for you, Sarah explained. Xander countered, with all the illegal stuff Victor had me doing? Fiona could not have been aware of the work, according to Sarah. Sarah shrugged, pointing out that Fiona had not wanted the truth to tarnish Xander's love for Titus. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, so please don't forget to subscribe my channel and don't miss any update.